General Studies 2. Topic: Effect of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interests. Indian diaspora. Space Weaponization Program 1 Introduction. The U.S. President Donald Trump had announced the creation of a Space Force for a sixth branch of the American Armed Forces. The imperative by America to build space weapons is nothing new. It goes back to the Cold War, an example of being the Strategic Defense Initiative of the Reagan administration. To intention, the creation of the new force represents an important shift, at least at an institutional level. The advantages it will bring to American warfighting capabilities are still unclear. The push for the creation of a space corps is to deny the Russians and the Chinese advantages in space. The intention is to see that the U.S. establishes and maintains dominance in space. There is exponential growth in China's space military capabilities over the last decades. Space weapons have one principal function: deterrence. 3. Reaction. The U.S. Air Force is not entirely enthusiastic about this new service. Objections have also emerged from within the Trump administration. Adding another military arm would only compound the organizational challenges facing the U.S. Armed Services. China said it opposes the weaponization of space. Russia may probably align with China to allow U.S. space dominance. For implications, it could undercut ongoing missions of U.S. It could very well increase budgetary allocations in the future. Resources would be diverted from the peaceful use of space for mankind to use of space for deterrence. Space Corps could undermine American efforts in the domain of joint warfare. It potentially increases greater organizational uncertainty within the U.S. military. It could trigger the space weaponization race and space wars, creating concerns for national and international security. Space wars would be destructive for critical space infrastructure, disrupt existing arms control instruments, in particular those related to nuclear weapons and missiles, etc. 5. Implications for Indian-American military goals, which are still undefined in space, could still have consequences for India. India is a party to 1967 Outer Space Treaty, which bars nations from placing weapons of mass destruction in space. India is officially committed to PEROS, or the prevention of an arms race in outer space. India is yet to formulate a credible official response to the Trump plan. India is yet to establish a credible space command of its own. Shifting focus to space would require diversion of resources from other wings. India may have to increase its defense budget to maintain deterrence in the new race. India's inter-services rivalries will have to be resolved about the command and control. The government needs to engage with multiple stakeholders directly about a role space weapons will play in India's grand strategy. 6. Concerns/challenges. Physical environment of space is not conducive to the conduct of military operations without incurring serious losses in the form of spacecraft and debris. The energy requirements are enormous. 7. Outer Space Treaty. The Outer Space Treaty forms the basis of international space law. The treaty was opened for signature in the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union on January 27, 1967, and entered into force on October 10, 1967. As of April 2018, 107 countries are parties to the treaty. The treaty affirmed the common interest of all mankind in the progress of the exploration and use of outer space for peaceful purposes. The exploration and use of outer space, including the moon and other celestial bodies, shall be carried out for the benefit and in the interests of all countries. It bars states party to the treaty from placing nuclear weapons and weapons of mass destruction in Earth orbit. The treaty did not specifically ban the military use of outer space. Since then, the military utility of space-based technology has increased tremendously. 8. Peaceful use of outer space. Technological developments in space have opened opportunities for many benefits to humanity, including global communication systems and geological and meteorological information. The view of Earth from outer space presents our planet as a unified, interconnected and unique kernel of life, which should not be fought over or destroyed by war. Thus, space in the 21st century offers an opportunity to move towards a world of common security and disarmament rather than one of conflict and more arms races.